Heat changes associated with chemical reaction. Meng ahaganna. Chemical reaction. Right. According to the heat changes, මං ඉස්සලා මේ ටික පැහැදිලි කරලා ඉන්නම් පුතේ බලා ගන්න. According to the heat changes, right. According to the heat changes, chemical reaction can be divided into the two groups. Can be divided into the two groups. According to the heat changes, chemical reactions can be divided into the two groups. One of them is exothermic reaction. You must keep remember exothermic reaction. Another types of reaction according to the heat changes is endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction. You must keep remember. Now we learned about chemical reaction, no? According to the heat changes, chemical reactions can be divided into the two groups, no? How to divide? Exothermic reactions and endothermic reaction. Right. Now tell me, what do you mean by exothermic reaction? As you think, what do you mean by exothermic reaction? Exothermic reactions mean if heat is evolved during the chemical reaction. If not, chemical reaction that happening due to, if not by, evolving a heat. Evolving a heat is known as exothermic reaction. So what do you mean by endothermic reaction? Endothermic reaction means the chemical reaction that occurred by absorbing the heat. The chemical reaction that occurred by absorbing the heat is known as endothermic reaction. No? Now we learned about chemical reaction. According to the heat changes, chemical reaction can be divided into the two groups. Exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Right. So what do you mean by exothermic reaction? The chemical reaction that occurred by, if not the chemical reaction that happening by evolving heat energy are known as exothermic reaction. Right. Due to the, if not during the exothermic reaction, heat energy is evolved. Heat energy is evolved. Because of the evolution of the heat, the system that occur in the exothermic reaction is heat up. If not, temperature of the system is increased. So what do you mean by endothermic reaction? Endothermic reactions mean the chemical reaction that happening, if not that occurred by absorbing the heat. When this chemical reaction is occurred, the heat energy absorbed from the environment. Like that chemical reactions are known as what? Endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction, right? Firstly, we will go to write what is the exothermic reaction. Right. Now think about, in the grade 10, we learned about chemical reaction, no? Right. Under the chemical reaction, you learned about the reactants and product. Reactants and product. What do you mean by reactants? Reactants mean, right, chemical reaction is the chemical change, no? Chemical change, right? In the chemical change, what is the reactants? Reactants mean the things that subjected to change. The subjected to change is known as reactants, right? So what is the products? Products mean the new things produced by the chemical reactions are known as products, right? What will happen during the chemical reaction? During the chemical reaction, reactants are used up and new things are produced. New things are produced. The new things produced by the chemical reactions are known as products. Known as product. In the exothermic reaction, energy of the reactants are greater than energy of the products. Energy of the products. You must keep remember. In exothermic reaction, energy of the reactants are greater than energy of the products. Then what will happen? Energy of the reactants is greater than. Energy of the product is less than. So what will happen to the remaining energy? දැන් බලන්න reactants වලින් product හැදෙනවා. මේක තමයි chemical reaction එකකදී වෙන්නේ. එතකොට reactants වල energy එක වැඩි පුතේ products වලට වඩා. එහෙනම් මේ වැඩි energy එකක් තියෙන එකකින් අඩු energy එකක් තියෙන එකක් හැදෙනවනේ. ඉතුරු එකට මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? ඉතුරු energy එක තමයි මොකක් වෙන්නේද පුතේ? heat එක විදියට පිට වෙන්නේ. ඉතුරු එක තමයි මොකක් වෙන්නේද? heat එක විදියට පිට වෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේක තමයි exothermic reaction එකදී වෙන්නේ. So what are the examples for the exothermic reaction? One of them is reaction of magnesium with hydrochloric acid. If not, metal react with acid. Tell me, what will produce when magnesium react with hydrochloric acid? Magnesium react with hydrochloric acid produced magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas, no? Right. During this chemical reaction, heat is emitted. Heat is emitted. Why? Energy of the magnesium and hydrochloric acid are greater than energy of the magnesium chloride and hydrogen. Extra amount is released as the heat energy. Then we will go to another examples for the exothermic reaction. Right. Acid react with base. If not, hydrochloric acid react with sodium hydroxide base. Right. What will produce during this chemical reaction? Sodium chloride and water is produced. No? Water is produced. Make a balance method. Right. Next one. Another example is calcium oxide solid dissolved in water. What will produce? Calcium hydroxide is produced. Calcium hydroxide is produced. Calcium hydroxide is base, no? Calcium hydroxide is base. Calcium oxide කියන්නේ මොනවද? අලුහුණු. අලුහුණු වතුරට දානවා දැකලා තියෙනවද? දැන් ඔය ගෙවල් වල කපරාදු ගහන්න දැන් හાર્ඩ්වෙයාර් වල වෙනම තියෙනවා දිය ගැස් උණු කියලා වෙනම තියෙනවා ස්ලේකට් ලයිම් කියලා. ඒව නෙමෙයි. අලුහුණු ගෙනාවොත් එහෙම. ඒව වතුරට දානකොට මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? වායු අර බුබුලු දදා නේද තාපය පිටෙන් රත් වෙනවා. ඇයි ඒ? මොකද්ද සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ? exothermic reaction එකක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. exothermic reaction එකක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. දැන් මට කියන්න පැහැදිලිද ඔයාලට exothermic reaction කියන එක? මොකක්ද exothermic reaction එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ? The chemical reaction happening due to, if not by evolving heat, is known as exothermic reaction. Right. Normally, when chemical reaction is occurred, reactants are used up and new things are produced. If the energy of the reactants are greater than the energy of the products, when the chemical reaction is occurred, the remaining energy is emitted as the heat. Like that, chemical reactions are known as exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. Right. Tell me, what are the examples for the exothermic reaction? Magnesium react with hydrochloric acid. Acid react with bases. Calcium oxide react with water. Are there some examples for the exothermic reaction? Now we are going to learn about the energy level diagram. Energy level diagram. Right. Now look at the board. Right. We already learned about during the chemical reaction, reactants are used up and new things are produced. During the exothermic reaction, extra energy is emitted as the heat energy. And also you learned about energy of reactants are greater than energy of the products. Energy of the products. When it is represented as the energy level graph, Now think about this is the energy level. Energy level. There are two position. මේ වගේ position දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මේක තමයි energy එක වැඩි එක, මේක තමයි energy එක අඩු එක. So what is the higher energy substances? Energy එක වැඩි කාගේද? මොන වගේද? Reactants වලද product වලද? Reactants. එහෙනම් අපි උඩ ලියන්න ඕනේ මොකද්ද? Reactants. මෙන්න බලන්න. Reactants. The product has the lower energy than the reactants products. ඔය කතා වෙන වැඩ නවත්තන්න. දැන් මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? What will happen during the chemical reaction? During the chemical reaction, products are produced from the reactants. එතකොට arrow head එක මෙහෙම පහළට එන්නේ. ඇයි? Reactants වලින් product හැදෙන්නේ. එතකොට energy එක වැඩි reactants වලින් energy එක අඩු products හැදෙනකොට වැඩිපුර තියෙන energy එක මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? Extra energy is emitted as the heat energy. මෙන්න මේකට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ energy level diagram. Right. අපි පළවෙනි example එක මොකක්ද ගත්තේ? Magnesium react with HCl produced magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. Right. Magnesium and HCl are reactants, no? Magnesium chloride and hydrogen are products. Then how to represent it in the energy level diagram? Now think about energy. Energy. Right. Reactants. What are the reactants? Magnesium and hydrochloric are the reactants. So what are the products? Magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas are the products. When this chemical reaction is occurred, extra energy is emitted as the heat energy. That is the energy level diagram. That is the energy level diagram. Then පැහැදිලිද energy level diagram එකක් කියන එක පැහැදිලිද? Right. Now you can write down. Energy level diagram ලියන්න මෙන්න මේ